So, now, that also being said, I just wanted to shout out my autism friends out there. What's up? I love you guys. You're awesome. Keep at it. Especially Godzilla Boy. Anyways, so I also wanted to say this. Like I said, I'm not coming down on Quasiluminous whatsoever. I've been subscribed to him for a few months now, and I started watching because I appreciated that he thought outside of the box and that he was making certain connections, and I liked that about him. However, some things he was very hot, in my opinion, and some things he was very cold, in my opinion, as far as topics go and, putting puzzle pieces together. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that either. Sometimes I'm probably hot and cold. But leading into his blood over intentions, this is the main reason why I'm doing this video. Quasi has said that after performing the blood over intentions ritual sacrifice, blood sacrifice or blood contract, that he had gained super secret knowledge with super cool mental powers. Now, it doesn't take a genius using Freudian philosophy to connect the dots between the pride of all of a sudden becoming much smarter and all of the traits that I just listed. Because I've seen this in other people who I've worked with, that they can be very embarrassed about their condition. And they love, to receive recognition whenever they do something where they appear to be smart, or, when they accomplish certain things. And that's great. But anyways, I'm going to get into blood over intent now. I'm probably going to make this 2 parts because I have a lot to say. First of all, I want to say I am not in any way, shape, or form saying do not perform, do not do blood over intent. I'm not saying that. I'm also not saying go ahead and do blood over intent. Knock yourself out and have fun. Dive right in. I'm not saying that. The reason that I've been discussing it is because it seems there have been many people who have put blind faith into this ritual. And I am very much encouraging everybody to research it, to be patient in making your decisions, and to take as much information as you can. I'll provide you as much as I can, and weigh out the pros and the cons, and then just search it out and see if it's something you still really want to do. That's all I'm asking. So, getting into blood over intent, or BOI. BOI. Number 1, hearing the call. Many of us are starting to awaken, or at least we think we're starting to awaken. But out of all of us who are starting to gain knowledge and realize that we've been lied to and we're seeing the world with brand new eyes and our vibrations are raising, first of all, it can be a little scary. Second of all, we immediately start fighting off this conditioning that we've had to start searching for a teacher, to start searching for someone to instruct us and to tell us what the next step is. Well, I'm here to give you my opinion on that, which is you don't need a next step. You don't need a teacher. You don't need an instructor. You need no one to tell you what to do now. You are waking up all on your own. You did it all by yourself. It came from within. So don't search from without for what to do next. Keep searching within. Keep listening to your intuition, to your feelings, to that inner voice, and get to know yourself. And the next step will fall in line with you. Clues will fall into your lap at just the right time. I don't think that you need anyone to tell you what to do, especially not to pressure you into doing something, or to insult you for not doing it, or to condemn you for not doing it. Next, intention. Blood over intent. Blood is not the key word. Intent is the key word. Intent is the word of power, not blood. Intentions are powerful. They come from in here. They come from within your spirit. They come from within your thoughts that manifest themselves in your actions and in your words. They manifest themselves. They are self-evident from the moment that they are created. The moment you create them, they become manifest automatically. They need no proof, they need no evidence, they need no contracts, they need no writing. They automatically become evident in the world. Number 3, demon control and breaking contracts with light beings. All right. First of all, if you look way back into blood contracts, originally much of it was used in order to control demonic forces. All right. Not to control angels, not to control other people of higher vibrations. No, it was used to control demonic forces of lower vibrational fields, to get them to do what you wanted to do, to control them, to manipulate them. Now, this came with a huge safeguard. This came with a huge caution and precaution, and people were very careful about how they did this, because obviously it could backfire and things could go wrong real quick, especially when you have a pissed off demon or a bunch of them who you lose control over. And I'm guessing that most people who are diving right in head first into blood over intent have never searched these things out, and either A, don't know that demons could be involved, not that they are, but could become involved, and much less how to protect yourself from them, or even less than that, how to control them. Now, the next thing is breaking contracts with light beings. All right, lots of people, not even people doing blood over intent, are declaring to the world, I, from here on out, break all my contracts with light beings. You know, they're all null and void. I said it, therefore, it's done. It doesn't work like that. I'm sorry. That's not how a contract works in the real world. You know, when creditors are coming after you for their money, etc., things like that. You can, by all means, say, I'm not going to do my part. And that is your free will to do that and to say that. But you have to understand that the opposing party or the participating other party has their own free will in how they will decide to respond to you declining. All right? Now, how they do that, I'll leave that up to you to figure it out. Now, the other thing about light contracts and breaking a contract, all right? You don't break a contract really by like ripping it up, you know what I mean? Especially one that like is a soul kind of contract. You simply break it by just not abiding by the terms of the contract, you know? Break the contract by how you live your life. Break the contract by the thoughts that you think, the way that you treat people, the level that you vibrate at. That's how you break the contract. Or that is one way you could break the contract. The next thing is people say, J Dreamers, you've never done it. Therefore, you have no authority to talk about blood over intent. You don't know what it's like. You have no idea. Yes, I do. All right. Let me tell you why. I've studied a great many things in my few years on this realm so far. Many of those things I have never participated in. I've never done. Yet, because I've studied people who have done it, people who have come before me, and I've learned from their failures and I've learned from their progress, I can discuss it. And some of the things that I say may carry some weight based on the studies that I have done. So, for example, I've never vaccinated my son, and I never will. Does that mean I can't speak about the dangers and the cautions that you should have in understanding vaccinations and how they're poisonous and dangerous? I can talk about it. It's fine. I've never robbed a bank, but I definitely can warn you of the dangers involved if you decide or plan on maybe robbing a bank one day. I've never been to the North Pole or the South Pole. Neither have you, Quasi. Not yet, at least. But we both can feel free to discuss it because we're studying it and we're looking into it and we're researching it. And I respect that about you all. And I hope that you would respect that about me. The next thing is the wizard's second rule. All right, I've mentioned this in some of my other videos, but it basically says the best of intentions can have the worst outcome. That's just summarizing it. So, a lot of people say, well, I had good intentions, so I'm protected. Or I had good intentions, so nothing bad can happen. That's not true whatsoever. You got to stop, take a breath, think about it. There have been thousands and thousands of examples across time and across the realm where good intentions have gone bad. Good intentions have been hijacked by other beings. Good intentions have been manipulated. Good intentions have caused the death of millions. So, just be careful in thinking that your good intentions are protecting you in some way, shape, or form. All right. Last one before we go into part 2. He says that the devil hides his intent. All right, so he's basically saying if you don't write it down and put it here on the internet for us all to see, you're hiding your intentions. That's not true whatsoever. Intentions are hid because they're not manifest in the world around you. They're not manifest in your words and in your actions. Your intentions are not hid. They are manifest in your daily life. They're manifest in how you speak and treat other people. They're manifest in how you treat yourself, in your actions, in a word well spoken and a deed well done. Now, if you hide these things and you have ulterior motives, that's when you may be hiding your intentions, when you act differently than what your intentions are. See you in part 2. Hey, welcome back to part 2. So, number 7, awakening versus learning. Now, it seems to me that especially, in conspiracy and fringe areas across YouTube, many people are talking about how there is an awakening going on, or people are trying to wake up other people, or they are waking up themselves. But for me, this awakening includes things like learning to love much stronger, to let go of selfishness and to be selfless, to be giving and forget the gift, to learn how to be kind to others and to recognize the oneness within all things. Now, a lot of Quasi's disciples have put down in their blood contracts that they intend to love all and exclude none. Now, this is not all of them, obviously. This is not everyone who's done blood over intent. Right now, I'm going to actually address a handful of people who I have talked to about it, and this would be his inner core of disciples. And I personally have gotten very hateful, very negative comments, and people are saying things that are very negative and reflect a hateful attitude or an angry attitude. And this in no way, shape, or form reflects what's written down in their contract as far as loving all and excluding none. As a matter of fact, it seems to me that the blood over intent movement, according to the most prolific, YouTubers, is very exclusive. It is very exclusive, If you are not a person who has participated, then essentially you're being called retarded, stupid, ignorant, and a whole lot of other 4-letter words. And you're being excluded. You're not being loved. You're actually being hated. And, it seems to me that is not a part of an awakening. People come across new information and they think that they're waking up. But there's a difference between actually waking up spiritually and learning to love and to learning to know yourself and raise your vibrations and to become more positive and to spiritually evolve, and just acquiring new information so that, you see the world slightly different. That being said, number 8. What is written on the contract? Now, for the most part, it basically has to have these words. It doesn't have to, but many of them do. I intend to bring forth heaven on earth. Now, here's another issue that I have, and I've mentioned this in prior videos, that because it's a blood contract, because it's a blood ritual, and yes, I think it's a blood sacrifice because you are sacrificing your blood, for a magical ritual. But because of this, like I mentioned earlier also in part 1, it also has the potential to invoke or to call or to include or to grab the attention of demonic entities. Lower vibrational entities, call them whatever you want to call them. I think demonic is just the easiest thing to call them. And these entities that grant wishes and can be captured by men and forced to do their will, aka genies, the jinn, things like that. They've been known to be tricksters. They've been known to manipulate the contracts or the words of the person. I don't know if you guys have seen Once Upon a Time, the TV show. Well, there was a character named Rumpelstiltskin. And even in the fairy tales, Rumpelstiltskin was known for being this sort of trickster when it came to the contracts that he wrote out with people, because he would use their own words against them. So it's not too far of a reach for me to, see a contract saying I intend to bring forth heaven on earth to be manipulated by whatever beings, and them saying, okay, well, you say you want to go into the earth, into the North Pole. You can't. You said you want to be on earth and you want to bring forth heaven on earth. I mean, not only that, but if you want heaven on earth, why would you want to leave? There's sort of this conflict of interest going on. Do you want to go to the North Pole and check out? Or do you want to stay here and live in a heavenly place, that you yourself have brought forth? Anyways, just something I wanted to point out. So I'm going to stop talking about blood over intent now. I think that I have made most of the points that I wanted to make about it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below. If you have your own insights into blood over intent, I particularly am interested in the specifics of it. Now, some of you may not be interested and you want to just dive right in, and that's your prerogative. But you have been warned. You have been cautioned. As far as Quasiluminous goes, I want to address a few of the things that he does talk about in his videos. Now, before I get into these things, I want to say that he does talk about some things that I find to be pretty interesting. But like I said, it seems to me that he has seen other people do videos on the topic, and then he'll really go into detail about it. For example, the no forests on flat Earth, and the roots being the rivers and waterways and stuff like that. I find that to be interesting. But some other things that I'm not too sure about, some things that I question, and some things I have my own particular opinions about, I'll start talking about those now, after I mention that I also wanted to caution those who have the ability to manipulate other people's opinions or what they do, their actions. People who may have a certain semblance of enough enthusiasm to get people to listen to them and to do something, And this can turn into what is known as a Messiah complex, where basically an individual lets the attention go to their head, and then they basically start this ascension into declaring themselves to either be God or to be a messianic figure in the flesh. And that they are the person that others need to come to. They are the person that other people need to listen to and obey. And if you're watching, man, I'd be real careful. I know you make fun of it and stuff, but please take a minute or two to just breathe and examine your thoughts about yourself, Now, I'm no way, shape, or form downplaying anyone who thinks, who's proud of who they are, proud of their accomplishments, or likes who they are. You know what I mean? However, whenever you're letting the power get to your head, so to speak, and you're insisting that people do things under the threat of condemnation or damnation or punishment of some sort, you know what I mean? Then it's turning into a Messiah complex. At least in my opinion. Now, also, Quasi talks about how this is my world. He says it's my world, and I find this to be very interesting because he talks about himself. Even though he has all these people doing what he said, even posting similar videos, he's talking about it's mine. I'm in control. It's my world. I'm the only one. I have the spear of destiny, etc., etc. He's not using we statements. He's not really including even the other participants. So that's why I'm talking about the Messiah complex, just to be careful of it. Now, in my world, in my perspective, I find it dangerous to enter into a place where I feel like I have it all down, or to feel like I know it all, or to feel like I'm content with what I have learned and now I know the answer and now I have to go get that answer or search that answer out or accomplish it. Because in my world and from my perspective, I see myself as constantly growing, constantly, forgive the word, but evolving. And um, I'm able to, well, I think Bruce Lee said it best when he said, be water, my friend. So, I don't want to find myself in a place where I'm making demands or I think that I've figured it all out, because just when you think you figured it all out, that's usually when it all comes crashing down and some new revolution hits you, and then you have to sort of change your beliefs that you previously have talked about. And I don't really want that to happen to me. Now, Quasi also says that the moment you're born, your soul is stolen and taken to the Vatican, that the Vatican owns your soul. I disagree. I don't think that your souls are in the Vatican. I don't think they have a Ghostbuster, soul chamber to store up people's souls in. I don't even understand how that would work. And I mean, if somebody does, I'd love to hear it. I know people say that they send our footprint to the Vatican, or they take your blood to the Vatican. Well, your blood does not contain your soul. Your soul contains your blood. All right, so when you spill your blood and you lose it, your soul doesn't, attach to that blood. All right, your soul stays with you where you are. At least that's what I think. All right, that's how I see it. So no, I don't think your soul's in the Vatican. I think you have your soul right there where you are. And many of us need to shake off conditioning, that blocks us. There's these veils that have been put over our souls in order to get us to trick ourselves. The spear of destiny. He's talking about, I hold the spear of destiny. I'm the only one with the spear of destiny, and it's my compass needle. Well, it can be. If you want the spear of destiny to be the needle of your compass, by all means. Originally, that's not what the spear of destiny was, and I don't see the spear of destiny as being something as simplistic as a compass needle. Personally, and this is my opinion, but I see it as something like the staff of Ra, something like that, along those lines. That falls into ancient myths and legends that I think are based on some form of reality. The four-faced, four-letter God. Now, he talks about how he basically gives his energy to this four-faced, four-letter God, Yahweh, a.k.a. for him, Satan, or the black sun. Jesus is the white sun, Yahweh's the black sun. And for me, this is the bad guy, okay? Call it the devil, call it Satan, call it what you want. But the black sun for me is nothing to be giving my energy to, all right? The white sun or the black sun. I mean, my energy is my own energy, and I'm not really trying to give it away. At least not to beings that I don't even understand, or nor do they, you know what I mean? Anyways, moving on. So, if the North Pole is so important, then why is the South Pole so guarded? And why is everyone going to the South Pole? You know what I mean? Just some food for thought. He talks about publishing to the Ethernet. First of all, the ether is everywhere, okay? The ether is not only on the internet, all right? The ether is all around you. So the moment that you have an intention and you act upon it or you speak on it, doesn't matter if it's on the internet or not, it's published and generally known by those around you. They see how you act and they see how you talk. So you don't have to publish it to the internet. A lot of these people are practicing sigil magic. They're jumping into witchcraft. They're jumping into the occult. I would also highly recommend studying that before you even go near it. He talks about plants screaming because you eat them. I don't think plants scream. I do think that they have a level of consciousness, but it's like a lower level of consciousness. I don't think that they're aware that they're being eaten. Also, many plants are already plucked from the life source when they're eaten. So if somebody plucked off my finger and started eating it, I wouldn't scream because they're eating my finger. I'd probably scream because it hurt when they took my finger off. But I wonder if people are trying to get us to go to the North Pole on purpose, because it has been in movies and all over the place, and it seems like that's been maybe planted in us to do that. And so I'm a little bit cautious of it, even though I do want to go there. I also have a lot of questions myself. I don't have all the answers. I wonder about a lot of things, not just about what Quasi says, but a lot of stuff that I think about in my own daily life. I have a lot of questions about flat Earth. I have questions about history. I have questions about the way in which things happened and the puzzle pieces that fit together, and some things that I don't understand. For example, in the flat Earth model, I don't understand how comets fit in. I just don't get it. And if you know, please feel free to share with me. Meteor showers, stuff like that. I don't get it. And I also don't get when Quasi says that the light from our sun above goes down into the hole. If there's a hole up there, like, the light can really only go like in straight. I don't see the sunlight, like, I don't see it going down into a hole. You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. Doesn't mean it's not true. It just means I don't understand. Thank you very much for watching. Please think about things before you do them. Research and use your reasoning. And I just wanted to say that this world is not anybody's. This world belongs to whatever created this world. And we live here, so we all partake in a certain element of ownership of this world. This world isn't one person's. This world is for all of us. And it's for us to take it back collectively if we so choose to do so. And it's for us to give it away collectively if we so choose to do so. So, just wanted to leave you with some good news. The world is at your fingertips. Thanks for watching.